What's happening right now is dangerous, it's very reckless, and people were arrested for doing this. And I'm pretty sure more people are going to be arrested for doing this, because this is not just in one state. This is happening in multiple states, and an investigation is on the way.
Never up, never down, never.
So what's happening is CDL licenses and regular licenses are being sold fraudulently to immigrants, those who can't speak English. And if you can't speak English, you probably can't read English. If you can't read English, you probably don't understand these signs that we have out here. But the fact that people are driving huge vehicles, trucks, tractor trailers, and getting it fraudulently makes no sense to me. 8 employees were arrested. 2 state employees were arrested for selling these fraudulent licenses to immigrants, those who cannot speak English or read and write English.
Employees for the DMV were arrested for selling driver's license to more than 1,000 illegal migrants without making them go through testing, training, or vetting in what authorities are calling a major driver's license fraud scheme.
Not caring if they went to a school or not to get their CDL, which you have to go to take classes. You have to do classes before you can even get in the truck. My husband is a truck driver, and I can't tell you the countless times he's told me about the people that he see. I'm not going to name nationalities, but the people that he see, and it's not just what you're thinking Mexican. It's not just that. It's other countries as well that are here, and they are working, driving these tractor trailers, and they don't speak any English. So that alone, what they did is a crime. That's why they got arrested. More people will be arrested. And I'm going to show you some clips that I'm about to put in here. These arrests happened on Thursday after an investigation by Homeland Security and the Bay County Sheriff's Department. What they were initially investigating were 2 state employees that were said to be selling CDLs to people who did not have the paperwork, because you have to have, once you complete the class and the course of driving training, you have to have that paperwork, and they were actually selling that paperwork. So someone ratted them out, and the investigation began. This investigation ran for around 2 years, y'all. This runs deep. And the fact that you see this happening, you're investigating it, and are you pulling these people off the road, or are you just waiting? Because so many times you see accidents that happen with tractor trailers. Sometimes it's not the trucker's fault. Sometimes it's, us regular folk fault for jumping in front of tractor trailers. But sometimes it is the trucker's fault. And in this case, you have to wonder now, were some of these truckers not even supposed to be on the road, period?
Pointing to an incident in March of this year where 37-year-old Solomon Weldakil Araya crashed his semi-truck into 17 vehicles in Austin, Texas. Araya's tractor trailer that was carrying goods for Amazon failed to slow down. 5 people were killed at the scene, including a child and an infant.
The sheriff of Bay County said putting undocumented, untested, unqualified people on the road, especially the ones that have the CDLs, is dangerous for families out here. And I have to agree, it is very dangerous. All it takes is a split second, and someone not even knowing what they're supposed to be doing, or which way they're supposed to be going, or what height they're supposed to be at, or even hauling the things, because you have trailers attached to, whether it be refrigerated reefers or it be flatbed. And let me tell you, flatbed is a lot of work. You don't just pull up and let them put it in. You got to get out and do some work with that as well. What if they're not connecting those lines the way they're supposed to, and something comes unattached while they're driving down the road. Anything could happen. The sheriff's office is also stating that these people who are driving these tractor trailers, they are people with regular licenses as well, but they're mainly worried about the tractor trailers because so much could happen with that. And the fact that these workers betrayed the trust of the community is unacceptable because it puts public safety at risk. 2 Florida highway and safety employees were arrested in or near Panama City, and their names are Vansili Velasco and Demetrius Smith were the 2 state employees that were arrested. And even though I believe this to be true, I'm going to say allegedly since I'm naming names. The 2 state employees, however, got 9 and 8 counts for issuing fraudulent driver's licenses. And I think those other counts were under misconduct of office. Officers also seized $120,000 from the homes of both of those state employees. They were making money. Now, they don't know how many CDLs were actually sold between the 2 of them, but they know it was a lot. Those 2 state employees, Velasco and Smith, they actually helped undocumented migrants skip the whole process of doing CDLs. Just skip the whole process. And then that was in exchange for them getting their license, and how they were paid was through Cash App. So I was wondering how they found out, hey, these people are doing this. Well, they were operating through intermediaries. They had a third party, and it was a company called Cubamax. I think you can find them on Facebook or something like that. So they were operating through that. Anybody who wanted, any illegal immigrant, undocumented, whatever, wanted a CDL, they would go through Cubamax, and then Cubamax had to hook up with these 2 state employees. Also, don't forget to leave your comments, your opinions on what you think about this story, and share it out with your family and friends and on your social media, so they'll know, hey, the person next to you might not have their CDL the right way.
Employees for the DMV were arrested for selling driver's license to more than 1,000 illegal migrants without making them go through testing, training, or vetting in what authorities are calling a major driver's license fraud scheme. They accepted cash payments to bypass the mandatory requirements such as written tests, skills tests, and proof of residency or legal presence. The more than 1,000 non-domiciled CDLs were allegedly sold from a single DMV office in Florida. A non-domiciled CDL is a commercial driver's license issued by a state to individuals not domiciled in that state, meaning people who do not have their primary legal residence or permanent home in the state. So illegal migrants who don't even live in the state of Florida were being issued CDLs without having to go through any required testing. In this case, the licenses were allegedly issued to illegal migrants without verifying eligibility, legal presence, or driving competency. This violates federal and Florida state requirements, which mandate proof of residency for first-time CDL applicants. American Truckers United sent out a warning about this very issue 4 months ago, alleging that Florida was one of 10 states, including California, Illinois, New York, Texas, and Pennsylvania, that are flooding the trucking industry with illegal foreign labor. They asserted that the scheme is part of a broader nationwide problem, with DMVs in multiple states issuing CDLs to illegal migrants en masse, potentially to undercut American truckers by providing cheaper labor. Many are now pointing to an incident in March of this year where 37-year-old Solomon Weldakil Araya crashed his semi-truck into 17 vehicles in Austin, Texas. Araya's tractor trailer that was carrying goods goods for Amazon failed to slow down. 5 people were killed at the scene, including a child and an infant. 11 others were injured and taken to local hospitals. Araya was arrested by the Austin Police Department. He was initially issued a $1.2 million bond, but it was reduced to $7,000. Araya bonded out with conditions including GPS monitoring, random drug tests, and a ban on driving commercial vehicles. The truck was registered to ZBN Transport LLC, a Dallas-based for-hire carrier contracted by Amazon. ZBN stated Araya passed background checks and had been with the company for 4 months.
8 people have been arrested after a joint investigation by the Bay County Sheriff's Office and Homeland Security Investigations. They say illegal immigrants were paying to obtain those driver's licenses illegally.
About a month ago, we began investigating information that individuals within the Bay County tax collector's offices were issuing fraudulent driver's licenses to aliens.
2 employees were allegedly issuing the licenses to people without the required testing. Some of those, they say, are illegal immigrants.
Analysis of financial records confirmed that the employees were receiving large sums of currency from numerous sources.
Sheriff Tommy Ford says 2 employees of the tax collector's office, 37-year-old Bancel Velasco and 30-year-old Demetrius Smith II, were arrested Wednesday for their role in the scheme to provide licenses to individuals who never took required driving tests.
These weren't minor shortcuts. These were intentional acts of corruption where individuals paid bribes in exchange for skipping critical safety evaluations.
Officials say 5 more Panama City residents acted as brokers, funneling people from as far away as Miami to Bay County to get these licenses. 2 of them, owner and employee of a local company called Cuba Max. Another, a man with warrants for 4 counts of human trafficking in Texas. 3 others were arrested, including one not identified as a broker, but one of the estimated hundreds of people who fraudulently obtained licenses through this scheme. Bay County Tax Collector Chuck Perdue says the findings were unexpected.
I am angry, and I'm shocked to learn that these individuals, now 2 former employees, engaged in fraudulent activity that violated the trust of our office and our community.